Good afternoon and welcome. This is a Young Adult Chatroom where we have insightful discussions and conversations about various things that are important to the youth. And today is no exception. I'm here with Safua and we are very excited to come your way today, having great conversations. And today, in fact, what we are coming to discuss is very dear to our hearts because it's pulling a lot of people, it's damaging a lot of young people, young talents, and we don't want that to happen to you or your family. So we are happy that you are here with us. But before we go into the other segment, I want us to try something. Some rap, you understand?
Hey, so
just go along with me.
Okay.
So whatever I say, with the end, the bosso. Do you get it?
Menka bosso.
Menka se menka bosso. Me see end now me kano now abo end no so. Okay. We need red. We need red. We need red that and found sankusum.
Some.
Because ebeye will damage.
Wait. No, let's wrap it here.
Let's wrap there with the country award. Anyway, so I just wanted to give you a gist of what we are discussing today. But before we go into that, we want to take a message from our youth director. So let's listen to Apostle Dr. Ebenezer Hagan and come back right here.
All right, yo, but next week. All right, yo, God bless you. Hello, praise the Lord. I welcome you to Time with Youth Director. It's a delight to be involved in the work of God. You know, the youth ministry has been pushing evangelism, and this is the material we have developed, the reach out strategy manual, and this is our soul-winning discipleship record book where we record all the souls that were. I'm just coming from evangelism, sharing the word of God with others. And we bring the love of God to people through this way. People have been asking, why win souls? I mean, now that the church is moving out in evangelism, people are saying that, why are we asking people to, why win souls? Why worry ourselves? Some churches do not even worry to preach. Why worry ourselves? Yes, we need to win souls. Yes, we need to reach everyone because heaven and hell are real. The Bible teaches that there is heaven, and the Bible teaches that there's hell. What worries me about the existence of hell is not just that people will go to hell, but that when they go, they'll be there forever. Think about the forever word, that people will be gnashing their teeth, be in destruction forever. They are not dying, they are not getting extinguished, and they are in that state forever. It's a compelling reason why we must preach the gospel. So why win souls? Yes, we must win souls because heaven is real. And hell is real. We must also win souls because Jesus has already come to die and he has paid the price. Everybody we see as a sinner, everybody who doesn't know Christ, people who are languishing in sin and their lives are getting destroyed, somebody has paid for it. Let me give you an example. That there's a hotel and somebody paid for the food already that all the people come here, they could eat for free. And somebody is in one of the rooms or somewhere and he's going to sleep with an empty stomach. And it's because he doesn't know that the food has been paid for. That is what has happened. Jesus has paid for the sins of every sinner. It's available. They only need to go and place a request for it. And we are the ones who preach the good news. That's why the Bible says, how beautiful are the feet of those who preach the good news, who bring good news. We bring good news telling everybody that Jesus has suffered for all. Jesus has paid. And so they don't need to suffer again. If we do not go, we hold this good message back. And that is why we must preach the gospel. That is why we must preach the gospel. And the third reason why we must preach the gospel is that God has chosen to work with human beings. You see, I'm a human being. I have legs. I walk around. I'm able to carry my Bible to go there and preach. I have a mouth. I have a voice. I also am preaching to other human beings. The gospel is not for animals. The gospel is not necessarily or directly not for animals. It's not for angels. And if it were for angels, maybe God would have chosen angels to preach it. But it's for human beings. The Bible teaches that men, humanity, we have sinned and we have fallen short of the glory of God. And God has chosen us, human beings, that he will use us to reach other human beings. And so I preach the gospel because the mandate is for human beings. I have become God's method. And if I do not preach the gospel, people are just not being saved. And that is why I must be involved. Another reason why I must win souls is that I have been given the Holy Spirit partly for that purpose. You know, the Holy Ghost wasn't only given so that we'll be strong and so we speak in tongues, but so that we'll be witnesses. And so every day that I rise up from my bed and I have the Holy Ghost in me, it's a reminder that He was given that other people who do not know Christ should hear from me. This is why I must reach everyone and I must make it a lifestyle to preach the gospel. What are you doing? You know, the clock is ticking. Before long, we are no longer in this world, and the records will be shown about how many souls we have won. I want to encourage you, win the soul for the Lord. There is every reason why to do that. May the Lord bless you as we go in to win more and more souls. God bless you.
Welcome back. That was such an insightful message from our apostle doctor. Every day, like we always say here, he brings us wonderful nuggets that we can always put in our pocket. But
Yeah.
going straight to the big conversation, just like Adele was trying some raps, which was a bit creative.
When you read that man from Sanko Sub,
I'm trying to also create something of it, but we'll get to it later. That'll be later. And so, just like Adele has already mentioned, when in read, we are discussing substance abuse. Basically, I'm sure it's something that you have also come across, you have heard. And so, join us at the big conversation as we delve deeper into this particular topic. And we know that you'll be a blessing afterwards. Let's see you at the other side. And you are welcome. This is the big conversation, and as always, we bring you well-seasoned conversations with some wonderful guests in the house. And today's reception, of course, I'm definitely not doing this alone. I'm doing this with the I was coming to say evergreen, but now it looks like I have to say ever pink. Adele here to my left, and then I have another wonderful guest. But before I introduce him, let me just tell you a little bit about what we'll be talking about. Wunim Red. That's a simple question, and I know it's been trending all through the year, especially from the beginning of the year. It's one of the conversations that we've been having through and through. Wunim Red, in other terms, substance abuse or opioids, because that's what has been trending for all of us to know. But we would want to bring it to the Christian perspective for us to delve a bit deeper into it, because we know that it's not a problem that only the youth who are outside of Christianity are facing. We know there are some people who are ardent Christians, but they are also facing their own challenges, because as documentaries came about, we saw some very deep revelations that there are people who have been influenced by peers, by friends, and of course, it's a youth problem. And so today we want to bring it home to the Young Adult Chatroom for us to gain a better understanding. And who else can talk about this if not a researcher who has been going into this particular topic? And so we have here in the studio someone who is a public health practitioner and a substance use researcher, and also 2023 National Best Nurse. It's only here, the Young Adult Chatroom, that you get some accolades like these, like people with such high things like these. And we appreciate it so much that he is in the house with us, no other than Divine Poha.
That's right. That's right. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much, Safua.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, same here. I want to first of all say a big thank you to our Lord for making this possible, and also to the team for extending this very important invitation to me. I do not take it for granted.
Right.
And I have to do everything possible to be on this show today, and I'm sure Safua understands why. And any conversation around young people,
absolutely,
please count me in. And so I can promise your listeners, your viewers, that we would have a very dispassionate conversation around the menace that has, engulfed our young people and our younger generation. Right. And I hope that by the time we are done, we would profess some recommendations, particularly to the church.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, it's no doubt, I am a testament to it, because we were supposed to be, was it intercredit as a Thursday?
No, I was supposed to return to the
to
Volta region.
Volta region, but
yeah.
because of this,
Yeah.
he had to stay so that he can bring us this whole
Beautiful.
knowledge around this. You are a researcher in
Yeah.
this substance abuse thing that has been happening and has
Yeah.
befallen our youth, especially in Ghana here.
Yeah.
For the first time, if this is the first time that somebody is hearing about substance abuse, we want to know the breakdown. What makes it substance? Because I know a lot constitutes it. What makes it a substance abuse?
Okay, thank you very much, Safwa. So let's first of all understand what a substance or a drug is.
Right.
So a drug is any. So we will say a drug is any substance.
Right.
That's when you take it into any human body, or even when you give it to animals. So let me say a drug is a substance when taken by any living thing would transform the person's perception, change the person's mood, and also have an effect on how the person sees things.
Okay.
And so any drug that you take, and that drug has the potential of changing your perception, that drug has a tendency of being abused. And so the conversation around abuse comes in when there is the repeated use of that drug,
Okay.
not for the primary purpose for which it was actually manufactured.
Yeah.
For example, you go to a hospital as a patient, and then you are given paracetamol tablets, maybe in addition to an artemether lumefantrine, which is an anti-malaria drug,
Yes.
to take care of the headache or the fever that comes with
it.
With malaria.
Right.
And then you are done with the 1 pack of paracetamol, which is mostly adult dose is 1 gram 3 times a day, maximum for 7 days.
Like 2 tablets.
Yes, there's 2 tablets. So if the formulation is 500 milligrams, then you are taking 2 tablets. That is for adults. And then you are done with 1 sachet of the paracetamol. And then the next time you feel headache, you feel that you have fever, your body is warm, then you go in for this same paracetamol without prescription. What it means is that any time in your lifetime, when you feel fever, when you feel headache, you go in for this medication.
Right.
So the repeated use of this medication without prescription now becomes an abuse.
Wow.
Oh, then it looks like all of us there inside.
The other form of abuse is you feel, the last time I was in the hospital and I went to the lab and I was treated for urinary tract infection. I was given ciprofloxacin tablets. And so the next time I feel some itches down there, I feel some low abdominal pain, I feel that anytime I urinate, I feel pains. So, I suspect it is urinary tract infection, so I want to go in for the antibiotic again. So you go in for the antibiotic, you go in for it anytime you have that. So you do not want to spend time with the pharmacy or even the hospital again. You are now self-medicating yourself. And then so when you self-medicate for a very long period of time, the body now adjusts to that particular type of medication or that particular drug, and you can be addicted, or you can develop addiction for that particular substance. The very last one, or form of addiction or substance use, is even common among health workers, where because of the workload and the pain that comes with the work you are doing. For instance, you work in the theater, you are always lifting patients, whether the patient is overweight or not, you are the one lifting and all that, or you have to stay long hours for a surgical procedure. You need an energizer.
Like a booster.
Like a booster. And so if that energizer is not the word of comfort, the appreciation, the self-motivation, the sense of understanding that, look, this is what I want to do, and I can deal with the pain, I can deal with the stress that comes with it, and you resort to a painkiller. The commonest drug of abuse when it comes to health workers for pain is Petidine. And so you have Petidine, which comes for adult dose, it comes in 100 milligrams. And so you see a health worker, the primary job or responsibility or use of Petidin is to cure pain.
Okay.
And so there is this emotional pain.
Wow.
There is this physical pain. How do I take care of it? And so you use P-mol is not working, you use tramadol is not working, you use morphine is not working, so you want to try Petidin. And so you are giving this Petidin, maybe 1 shot, 2 shots, then you think that, Petidin has taken care of it. And so now health workers will now, sometimes, in fact, when it gets extreme, they even still.
Yeah.
This is not an allegation. It happens. We have sat on several cases of this nature. So they even go to the extent of even stealing the Petidins that are actually supposed to be used for patients. And this Petidin is what they use. Sometimes they sneak into the changes room. You think they are going to take lunch or something. Is going there to give a jab, some shots to it or a tie. Sometimes they even give it in the vein. And because when they take the Petidin, it gives them that initial arousal. So they feel high, the pain is gone. And so people are going through a lot in silence. And they want to deal with it by themselves.
Right.
And so they go in for the easiest way of dealing with these abuses. And that is why these conversations or conversations of this nature is very important, for all of us as Christians, because we need to take the message of hope to the people.
Right.
We do not need to have barriers, preventing we Christians from going into the territories.
Exactly.
As a Christian, I should feel free to get into the ghettos. I should feel free to get into the places where young people aggregate and have fun. So that whilst I'm sharing the gospel to them to accept Christ, I am also looking out for those who have the tendency of becoming drug users.
Okay.
So that in addition to the message of Christ, I can also tell them what they can do not to get to the point where they will find very difficult to come out of an abuse.
So it looks like it starts from a very clear conscience where, this is to relieve pain, or you are going through something as a human being. You want to. There is this psychologist who say parasympathetic nervous system where everybody is pushed to do something to relieve themselves from pain or any other thing that will bring like death to them or something of that sort. So it's not really that people initially want to be addicts or they want to be abusers that they start doing this. But then from a clear conscience, they want to just help themselves to be normal again. And then now it gets to a point. So I just want to understand, at what point does it become that addiction? Yes,
so the brain works in a very unique way. So just like how we treat our kids at home. And so anytime your child is going to school, you always drop some toffee in his or her bag. What are you doing? You are trying to reward that child for accepting to go to school. And so there's a day that maybe the toffee or the chocolate is finished at home, and that child has to still go to school. And the child says, if you don't give me the chocolate, I'm not going anywhere. You have programmed the reward system of the brain that you do this, I give you this.
Right.
And so in the absence of the reward, I have to get agitated. And that child will have to do everything extra to get that chocolate. Because you have made it a norm, a routine for that child, that without chocolate, I will not go to school. That is how the brain operates. So the brain is being told that, okay, to deal with the pain, I need to take Petidin. I don't need a psychologist. I don't need a counselor. I don't need to sit in the church and listen to a sermon on Sunday. All I need is Petidin. When it comes to red, a lot of our young people who use the tramadol tablets, the highest form of tramadol now, which is the 2 to 5 milligram. We'll go into that.
But I'm told there is 250 now.
Oh yeah. But on the market, very, very common is the 2 to 5 that they are using. You see that a lot of young people, for sexual needs to be met,
right,
and Because they've tried a lot of aphrodisiacs. These ones on the market, take this, and then you feel okay, and you can
247.
Yes, and you'll be stronger and all that. You can last long in bed. Young people have tried that, and it is not working. And so they are like, there's so much trauma. There's so much expectation that I need to last for this number of hours. And so what can I do? Let me get something that can cure that pain. So they go in for a painkiller, which is the tramadol tablets. So they try the 50 milligram, is not working, 100 milligram is not working. Then there's now somebody, a wicked person somewhere, for just his or her, financial gains, decide to smuggle in tramadol 2 to 5. And they say, wow, if I put 10 of these together, I'm getting 2,250 milligram. Let me just add it to some Rush energy drink. Because if it's in the energy drink, nobody knows it's tramadol. So they ask it up, drinks it, goes the first round and feels. Today we are speaking to the youth. And so we have to be very open to them. You use it and then it's like, today it's like you have done so well. That is a reward. So the next time he wants to try it again. And he continues to do that for a long period of time. So the brain has become adjusted to it.
To that.
And so there is nothing you can do instantly to prevent, even if you have an alternative. It is going to be a process.
Okay.
It is going to be a process. That is why young people who are into substance use, we always say the recovery process is not a one-day wonder.
It's expensive.
That is why this conversation is very important. It is better for us to prevent the issues that come with substance abuse than you get into it, because it is expensive.
Get out.
Yes, the cure or the recovery process is more expensive than the preventive aspects of it. So don't even try it in the first place. Don't even get into it in the first place. Don't, because when you start, you would continue, and you wouldn't know when to stop. It's like just a room that you've entered and you are just walking all over. You don't know where the exit is. You only know the entry. You don't know where the exit is. So you only enter, and how to exit becomes a problem.
Challenge.
So why can't we put in measures, interventions, that young people would not even in the first place get into drug abuse?
At all. Let me come to Adele. Have you encountered anyone who has used these drugs lately? And how do you see them mostly? Because it's like, there is this common look that
they have.
That they have. Most of the times you realize that BB there was one documentary by my colleague back at work, Gordon Asedeba, on this whole red thing, Hooked on Red. That's the topic. You can actually look for it and then get more insights. And there was one particular guy I was so sad. He was in Kumasi. And he was saying that Wawo and Kolami and San with a wife, but now he doesn't even know where they are because apparently he wanted to leave them, go and find work, gather some funds, come back home, and then settle. But he went and then he got hooked on this substance because he knew, he was told by friends that they will give you extra amount in terms of you working. You will get more energy to work and all. And he started. He grew resistant to it. He kept on taking it. And then today, he doesn't even know where the family is. So before I come to you, Adele, for us to go in depth in how these people look like most of the times, let's go for a quick break. When we come back, we have more. We just started, so stay tuned. Yeah, welcome back from the break. We are still on the topic Wunim Red, which is substance abuse. And before we left for the break, I was asking Adele if she has encountered people of that in that state, and then how they normally come to you as a person whenever you encounter people like that. Because alcoholic is obvious.
Sometimes,
you see,
yeah.
most of the times you see, especially those who have abused it for long. How does he also come to you?
I was about to say alcoholics people
Ampa.
They are professional ones.
Or more over time, then you realize that many some other features.
So I realized that some of these people who abuse drugs also have some of these looks.
Yeah.
And funny enough, they tend to get darker in terms of their complexion. I don't know, but
is it proven?
Like most of them that I've seen.
That's what
because
you have seen,
after they have gone through rehabilitation, you realize that they are looking lighter. So I feel it has something to do with their bloodstream and it goes through somewhere. I don't know how it affects.
So he will respond to that.
And they easily get agitated at the least.
Anger.
Sometimes just when they want something and they don't seem to get you to respond to them. So in Accra, some of the people who clean our windscreens when we are in traffic are abusing drugs. And the first don't touch my windscreen is hey, because umbu nipa, they go like that. Some of the people who call for passengers for the vehicles, they are drug addicts.
The conductors.
They want some. There's this guy in Tema 21 who stands and then he'll be calling the people and then no driver, no man is Kasamato. Sometimes you can stand in front of your car that you're not going to move the car. And he looks lean.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens to them, but they grow lean.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the complexion again. Yeah. Sometimes they even lose their teeth.
Yeah, and even the lip too.
Becomes black. Yeah. And those of them who are now suffering in terms of their organs in their bodies, you can see swollen feet, swollen toes, discolored nails.
That's true.
And their eyes are looking funny. So if you don't know anyone like that, I mean, some of this can let you know that this person is abusing drugs. And Safa, let me be quick to add that when you come to the northern part of Ghana, where people think that some of these things are not really prevalent, it's very funny that they see it as normal. That is why people are not even seeing that they are abusing it.
They see the abuse as normal.
There are some mothers who easily will go and take some of these drugs. Some of them grow them. Maybe marijuana, they grow them. So sometimes they just take it like when you're a snack be. But
is it because of the nature of work they do?
I can't tell what is making them do that. But you get to know from how they'll start behaving right afterwards. But initially you think so you may think it's one of those things, but you find out that no, this is how it is. So sometimes when we have to make so much noise about drug abuse, especially in the church, over there we take it very seriously. Because the young people from JHS are already introduced to it. Either they are smoking it, either they are just taking it like they're eating food or something like that. All of these things. And sometimes you may not see these outward stuff, but then inward, a prano, just that the person doesn't know yet. Yeah.
This is really serious.
Yes, so Safwa, I think that all the descriptions my sister gave, very correct. The fundamental issue has to do with, first of all, where does the drug go? The ones they swallow go into their stomach through the gastrointestinal tract into the stomach. Every other process go through, and then some. At the end of the day, the end products of these drugs and the other substances that they abuse, where do they exist from? The kidneys are already in trouble.
They are taking their parts.
The liver is also crying. The skin you talk about, you get into the ghettos. And I'll speak briefly about the research that we did in Ghetto South. You see, some of them also injecting, sharing needles in the ghettos, in their hideouts.
Yeah.
And so, because they are not able to afford a syringe and needle, one person can use a syringe and pass it on to the next person. And that is where the issues of HIV and other infections come in.
Right.
And so the needle sharing is also another thing that we have to look at. Aside that, one of the side effects of a drug of abuse is their inability to eat.
Oh.
They don't even feel hungry.
Wow.
So the skin discoloration you talk about, the weight loss you talk about, these are all, and then the changes in the eyes, the edema or the swelling of the face, the change in their body, even their tooth decays and all that, as a result of the poor personal hygiene, because they don't sit and think that, oh, today I need to bath. No, the drug changes your perception.
Wow.
And so if you were the church person, you were the person who takes your hygiene very seriously. When you start doing drugs,
everything changes.
Drawing away from that.
You withdraw from, because the only focus is how to satisfy the brain.
Right.
Oh, let me push in the next drug. Let me push in the next drug. You don't care about food. So there is food and you can't eat.
Wow.
There is food, the best meal. you can't eat. And these are the very people in the church, when it's time for fasting and prayer,
they say away. They can't fast.
But now, the devil will force you to fast. The devil will force you to
pay the dues.
You pay the dues for it. You pay the dues for it.
So, Divine, you earlier mentioned that, your research, you focused it on K2 South.
Yeah.
So what really are some of the substances you're abusing there?
Okay.
Yeah, and the findings.
So let me just give you a bit of background.
Yes.
So the title of the project was Psychoactive Substance Use, Contributing Factors, and Related Mental Disorders within the K2 South municipality.
Okay.
And so the objectives were 3. The first objective, we actually wanted to look at, people are using substances, and then there are a lot of young people on the streets suffering from one form of mental health disorder. From one to the other.
Yeah.
So let's find out what is the data, the secondary data that sits with the Ghana Health Service or the Ministry of Health.
Okay.
So we want to look at a 5-year trend.
Okay.
So we did a trend analysis from 2019 to 2023.
Okay.
To see the disease, let me just put it that way in a layman language, the disease they call diseases or mental disorders due to substance use.
Okay.
Because you walk into the hospital, you are being screened, and then you are diagnosed of malaria, you are diagnosed of hypertension.
Okay.
These are diseases.
Yeah.
Okay, so a disease that comes as a result of substance use, as also known as mental disorder due to psychoactive substance use.
Okay.
That particular disease, how many people have been diagnosed of that disease over the period?
Okay.
And so from 2019 to 2023, what we realized was an upward trend. It even got worse when COVID came.
Oh.
And so during COVID-19, that was 2020, 2021.
Yeah.
So there was a peak.
Okay.
Rise in that particular condition.
Okay.
And the reason is obvious. And so there were these local artists who came up with a song, Abima Nyemedogo.
At the Volta region?
Yeah, in the Volta region, Abima Nyemedogo. So to it, as we will not take that injection. We are not born to take that injection. Even if we fall sick of COVID, it is only the marijuana or the substances
so not the vaccine.
Not the vaccine. And so this song was one of the songs that, trended for a very long period of time.
Wow.
And this also had influence on our young people, not even taking the vaccine.
Right.
So there were some researches when it comes to vaccine acceptance for COVID. There's some of the factors that actually contributed to the low acceptance rates. And you see that young people in these ghettos do not want to take the vaccine, and they want to just do the drug. So when you did the analysis, you saw that in 2020, 2021,
it went up.
It went up. And in 2023, even though there was some decline, it was not a very sharp one.
Okay.
And so we thought that, look, if nothing is done to stop this trend, it means young people who are reporting with this particular condition will increase.
Yeah.
So something must be done. And so our second objective was to look at the prevalence of substance use, okay, this particular condition, we want to look at the prevalence of it, how heavy or how big is the problem within the Ketu South municipality. And even before that, Ketu South municipality, because Ketu South shares boundaries with the Republic of Togo.
So
From Nigeria, Benin, Togo, you are getting to that. And then Ketu South being a border town also poses some risks.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's for good and for bad. And so we said, okay, let's do the border town, which is Ketu South. Then the last objective was for us to look at what are the factors, some of the contributing factors influencing the choice of substances young people use. And maybe let me just go straight into the results.
Please do.
Okay.
So we actually, even before the result, let me do a little bit of the methodology. What we did was to identify 10 at-risk communities within the municipality. So the municipality, we divided into 3 traditional areas, which is the Aflao traditional area, the Kleko traditional area, and then the Soma traditional area. And then we decided to look out for 10 at-risk communities where we identified ghetto youth leaders, because you can't enter the community without the leaders. So we used the assembly members who actually help us to get the ghetto youth leaders, and then we finally entered the ghettos to interact with these young people. And so I'm sure maybe one of these days, I'm sure you'll come to Ketu South, and then we'll visit one or two of the ghettos. I mean, they are very friendly. They are very friendly, and then would open up to tell you a lot. So long as they are assured of their confidentiality and anonymity, you are good to go. You have every information you need, because majority of them in there want to come out of the situation, so they need help. So we entered the community, and then we're able to interview 205 young people. Yes, between the ages of 15 and 24.
Within the 3 communities or all the...
the 10 at-risk communities.
Okay.
So we were able to pull out at least 205. It is not easy getting, young people who use drugs. They are just like working, conducting the research among sex workers.
Yeah.
There are a lot of ethical issues around it, and you cannot push them to get your data.
Right.
They must voluntarily come out. They must consent to the research process. And so it took us a lot of time, but we were able to get 205 of them.
Okay.
And out of these 205, we had about 51.2% of them between the ages of 21 and 24.
Okay.
And then, as usual, majority of them were males with the 72%. Again, majority of them told us they were single. And so the reason why we need to focus on young people as well. And when it comes to marital status, we had about 78% of them who said they were single, and then just 12% of them who were married. And then about 7% were divorced or separated. And when it comes to educational background, we wanted to see whether education affects or influences their choice of drugs. And then we also realized that 54% of them had completed secondary school. So the young people in Ketu South are not lazy. They are able to go through the primary, the JHS, and then even go to secondary school. Yes, and that was actually a plus for us. Then when it comes to employment status, we realized that about 43% of them said they were self-employed. And the self-employed is not about they doing something by themselves. The self-employed is just the fact that, okay, when I wake up, I go to the border to hustle. So that's their self-employment.
But it gives them...
They go to the border.
Yes. Then place of residence had a very significant role to play. I told you earlier, we have 3 traditional areas, the Aflao, Kleko, and Sume.
Okay.
And Aflao, for instance, had 73% prevalence.
Wow.
And Aflao is a town which is very close
to the border, right?
To the border. And so you see a lot of our young people in that community. So it is better. What this data tells us is that if you give birth in glycol and some, it is a protective factor against drug abuse. But if you deliver your child in a flour, it means that parental monitoring
But why?
would have to.
Why those clues to the body? I mean, there are some obvious reasons, but let's get into that. Why?
Yeah, so Aflao is an urban area.
So the pressure is on.
The pressure is on.
Wow.
It's an urban area, so the pressure is on. Then, very interesting, before I answer the question.
Would you be able to tell us some of the causes that you were able to identify from the research you did?
Okay, so one of them is also the onset of substance use.
Okay.
So when did you start using drug? When did you see drug for the first time and tried it on yourself? And we had 78% of them who said they started using drug before 18. So even at the age of 9, young people are exposed to drug. The issue of family.
What exactly?
Like
so that brings in the family values. And so we had about 82% of them who said yes, there is a family history of substance use.
Oh.
So my uncle, my auntie, my mom, my brother use drug.
So they introduced me to it.
Right. There was one addict I met some time back when we went to one of the rehabilitation centers in Accra here, and then she mentioned that as early as 7 years old, the dad introduced her to alcohol.
That's correct.
I was like,
that's correct.
Oh, taste it.
Yeah. So the question again is what are some of the common substances that they are using? So for cannabis is the norm. Like it is everybody in the ghetto have had a relationship with cannabis.
That's also a drug.
Yes, no, that's the marijuana.
Okay.
Yes.
Anya required a toffee.
Yes, that's for that one. Majority of them have had contact with marijuana. And then the opiates, the pain killers. Yeah, we have about 23% of them saying that they've tried cannabis and then they are trying the opiates as well. Something to make them sleep. They use it. The alcoholic beverages. They are using it. Tobacco, which is the cigarettes. And so one thing we found out is that tobacco, the use of tobacco, when we were growing up, we only know about tobacco. Like, tobacco, which is a cigarette. People smoke cigarette and all that. And that's, the prevalence was high. But now, tobacco is no more. So they have pushed tobacco down and they have sent red and then marijuana.
Which is even more dangerous.
Is up there.
Yeah.
To end on this note is a shocking revelation where they have decided to build their own nomenclature around the other substances that they use. So aside the red, they have discovered other new substances. And not entirely new, but other formulations.
Right.
So mixtures.
Okay, I get that.
So you put A and B and C together. To get the higher
this kind
effects.
of,
To get that.
This kind of effect.
So you use A today. A is okay, but you want to try A and B.
A and B together.
So they are experimenting. Wow. So you have substances like Colorado or Oncolos.
Okay.
You have Kush.
They came up with all of these.
Yes, Amnesia, Ashish. So you see them also using Raffinol, Dynewell syrup, Diamond, Hoffes mixture, Green Gold, GH Gold, Laboku, or Letalin, Gomoza. So these are the nomenclature. These are names. These are names. And the formulation. When someone comes to get you some, you
go for me.
Then Wachi. So when you come to
what has Wachi done in this situation?
Wachi, and you say you want to buy Wachi, don't be expecting the rice and beans.
Rice and beans.
Yeah, so they're going to give you a combination of cannabis plus tobacco and then the red.
Ooh.
Then they have their own way of doing that mixture, and then it keeps them high as well. There's one they call Captain Black or Capo Choice, 4 Apple, Ezovi, Green Royal or Crystal Rock. These are new names.
Wow.
That because you know that it is red. That is why you're asking people who name red. Now, who name Capo Choice? Therefore, who name Green Gold?
Green Gold?
Yes. Who name Colorado?
Now, super glue knows where.
You don't know. So, yeah, so if you, is it because you call it super glue?
But they have a different name for it.
But when you enter the ghettos,
this is creativity, Charlie. Like these people are very creative. So I mean, we know we are almost out of time. We have to really wrap up. Let's look at what are some of the pragmatic measures we can take as a country and even as a church, because I know for my church we have already started doing something. And Adele, before I come to you, let me come to Adele. What really is the church doing so that for people who are watching, especially the youth who want help and don't know exactly where to go to, our own church, the assemblies, when you go down, they have people who are ready to help you. And Adele will give us that information quickly. And
so when Chairman came first in 2018, the Vision 2023 birthed the Home and Urban Missions. And his idea at the time was to say that sometimes when we go out to propagate the gospel, we ignore these kind of people. So we see an addict by the roadside and we leave the person to a more abled person that we are seeing. And he said that every soul counts. When the person dies and goes to wherever, God is not going to say you are an addict, so you did not receive me, but still come to me. It's not going to happen. You need to be saved before. So Chairman said, okay, then the Home and Urban Missions should be birthed. And now some of the focal points or focal areas are the drug addicts. Now, what happens is we have harm pastors, we have harm coordinators. If we come to our districts, areas, locals, we have our harm coordinators.
So the Home and Urban Missions.
Home and Urban Missions. So what they're supposed to do is to mobilize people, and then we venture into the ghettos. Or even places we know that these addicts gather, or where we can also get to meet them. What do we do? So Home and Urban Missions have come up with a plan because they started and they realized that there were some pushbacks. You can't go the same way you go with the normal people.
Maybe security reasons and a lot of things.
Exactly. There are lots of things you have to do before you can even get the person to say that, talk to me. Or even enter my ghetto. Like you were saying, you needed some permissions and all that. So they train the people they have mobilized, and then when they go, sometimes the first time is just to say, oh, I'm just coming to hang out with you. And they go with some maybe soft drinks or something. And then they start just chatting with them. Or they go with food. Like you said, they don't, some of them, they are not hungry. Some of them are hungry. They don't have food, so they will go back to the drugs. And then just that opens the door for them. So you go there once, you are just, in the second time, you are looking like their friend because you are nice to them. The third time, you are like, do you think this is working out for you? Most of them, they know that no, they don't want to be here, but they don't know the solution. Then they are introduced to Christ. And if you want to accept Christ and you accept Christ, we don't want you to go back to your old ways. So that is when we now incorporate them into rehabilitation centers. So the church is trying to come up with its own rehabilitation center, but that has not been completed yet. But the church makes use of the other rehabilitation centers. And aside that, to some people in our church who have also tried to help these drug addicts come out of their addiction, not really like a rehabilitation center, but like the person has should I say, the flair, and has been able to convert a few people from that state to another. So there is one woman like that in our church. She has a facility that she houses those people, prays with them. They bring health workers to check on them, administer whatever drugs they need to correct, whatever in their system, and all these things. By the time the person is done, you can see the change. And that's when I was talking about the weight loss, because I saw a picture of it before and after, and I was able to really tell that, no, this person is this person, but the person has really, really changed. So as a Church of Pentecost, this is one thing we are doing, and it's open to everybody. Some people think that, oh no, this one is not for me. We can understand when you feel that you don't have the flair for it, but thanks be to God that there is training. So anytime you hear that, oh, Home and Urban Missions are training people, they also go to the commercial sex workers. They go to the urban marginalized, like those who just sit by the roadside just to beg for money and all of those things. So Home and Urban Missions is for these kind of people.
Exactly. I mean, even inmates, prisoners, I mean, all of these people are included. People that there is this particular stigmatization against them in society, and then they feel they are not a part of humanity. All of those people we try to reach, and so the church has actually started doing this, and we've started doing Bible studies, trying to go deeper into it for us, all of us to understand. Because I remember some of the how do we used to call it back in Pensa?
Is it the S life?
Is it missions? But we used to have a name, missions.
For these kind of people?
Yeah, no, I mean, whenever we are going on missions, whenever we are going on missions, we some way, somehow fear, there is this fear attached when we want to approach, because some of them can actually be armed.
Yeah, and they are very aggressive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so we have to have a very special way of handling this. So please, if you have the edge and the feeling to do that, do not go alone. Let's join the church and then understand the roots and then how to go about it, because your safety is also important.
Yeah, so I was just about to say that if you think you know someone, or you are closer to someone who's an addict and you want to help the person, you can always go speak to your harm coordinator, or even the harm office at the headquarters is open to everybody, not just people at the top. So you can even call them and they'll direct you to who you can talk to and help that person, because you may not have the skills, you may not have the knowledge to be able to help the person out.
Okay, let me come to Divine so that we can just wrap it all up. We are far behind time with what we can also do. The church, we have told us what the church is doing, but what we can do as a community, as a government, if there are other stakeholders in the country, what we can do to also help the situation.
Okay, thank you very much, Safwa. Let me just start from the beat of Church of Pentecost. Let me first of all commend the Church of Pentecost, Aflao area. They have even started conversation with us. We, 26th of this month is the World Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Drug Trafficking. And that day, we want to commemorate it in Ketu South, where we will send the whole of Accra to Ketu South, including Safwa and the TV3 team. and so, I keep mentioning Safwa because she will lead that team to Ketu South. And
she's ready.
Has actually offered the venue for us, to use. So we're using either the Shekinah Chapel or the English Assembly for this program, which is being really supported by the National Youth Authority and the Ministry of Youth Development and Empowerment, the Ministry of the Interior, the Narcotics Control Commission, Food and Drugs Authority is coming on board, and then all other partners within the drug space.
Right.
What it means is that we need everybody on board. The church is doing its part. And so other stakeholders would also have to join us. Because a lot of these young people really need help. They want to come out of this. I'm only praying and hoping that the rehabilitation center that the church is putting up should be encouraged, that should be supported, so that the alien rehabilitation centers we already have, the church can come in. I know what the Church of Pentecost can do. And so I know that if the focus is to really support these young people, then the rehabilitation center is the way to go.
Great.
I'm looking forward to a day where Ketu South would also have a rehabilitation center for these young people, because majority of them that we spoke to are ever willing to go through the recovery process. So that instead of calling them drug addicts, drug abusers, drug users, we will now refer to them as people in recovery. So that one day they can also turn back and say, look, this was my before and this is my after. And they can use their stories to inspire other young people not to venture into drug abuse.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Divine, for her. Best Nurse 2023 for the whole country. This is a big deal, and I wish we could go on and on, because there is a lot to talk about. Rehabilitation, like we ended on this note, is another conversation that we
need to discuss.
Yes, we will be having right here on the big conversation. So you definitely want to stick and stay so that you can also gain more insight when it comes to the rehabilitation aspect of it. And so thank you very much for, if you have any shout outs, let's do that briefly. Anyone you want to give shout outs to?
Oh, no, just to the team, right, the young people in Ketu South who watch this show, that look, there is hope, and then that is the message we are bringing. to be. And so just be rest assured that the campaign against drug abuse in Ketu South has just started. And we are going to support every young person. So long as we have the support, so long as we have the resources, Ketu South should not be known for, the harm of substance use. We should be known for the job opportunities, that the factories, the companies that will be coming up there, so that we can have a youthful population that is energetic and ready for job opportunities.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So a big shout out to all the people of Ketu South municipality. Yeah. We have your main man here in the house, so it will be a pleasure to one day interact. Pay a visit, like what Divine has been saying. I'll definitely make it a point to add to my bucket list to come to Ketu South one of these days so that we can advance the conversation. But it's been an amazing conversation. We've been having here the big conversation with the theme Winning Red, which is substance abuse. If you've not taken anything home at all, at least you have gained some insight about this whole Red 225 that has been circulating around and about. So you definitely have to protect yourself, because it starts with just you thinking, oh, this is a painkiller, and you want to self-medicate. Make sure that you always get prescription from the right people, and then you do not have to be addicted to it. Please, let's try as much as possible so that we can also help others who are already deep-necked into it. So we are not done with the Young Adult Chatroom. We definitely go in for other segments, and there we'll have other conversations as well. So stay tuned. We'll be back.
Welcome back from that insightful conversation. I'm sure you've gotten a lot of information, and there were areas we wanted to go into which we were not able to, but never mind, we'll come your way again, as Safwa said, discussing the recovery process. It may be that your child or your brother or your friend is going through such, and you think that they've not gotten to the stage where they have to go into a rehab center, but then you would want to help them, you understand? So we'll go into that, and then we'll see how we can all help. But we want to be rounding up for the day, and we'll take our verse for the week from 1 Corinthians chapter 16, verse 13, from the NLT. It says, be on guard, stand firm in the faith, be courageous, be strong.
I love this.
Be on guard. For me, that's what caught me.
This can be our memory verse.
Yes.
Be on guard.
Stand firm in the faith. Be courageous. Be strong. It's beautiful. The be on guard tells me that, when he was saying that taking drugs without prescription, I was like, oh my God. So we've been doing some of these things, and it can lead us. Yeah. So we really have to be on guard. Whatever it is the hassle is, like you were saying, whatever the challenges are that is pushing you to be taking some drugs to ease yourself, you realize that it doesn't go away. Immediately you are done, or it goes off your system. Back. Everything just rushes back. True. So stand firm in the faith, and that is what is going to help you out.
On this note, we end today's episode on the Young Adult Chatroom. And it's been an amazing pleasure. You know that always it's such a relief and such a good feeling that we always come your way for us to do this. And definitely next week we'll be doing the same. And so stay tuned. It's Pen TV, 3 p.m. on Sundays. My name is Safwa Boahine.
My name is Adelaide, and we want to say a very big thank you to our makeup artist, Aqua Makeover, Makeup Extraordinaire. Thank you so much for making us up. And we shot from Palm V Estate in East Legon Hills. We'll come your way again next week. For now, it's bye.